Hey, Emu here, and today I wanted to do something different. I want to start doing tier lists. Just 'cause they're fun and easy, and I can kind of get my thoughts out on things. Since I like to share my knowledge on things and analyze things, talk about things. Thought a tier list would be nice, and I wanted to start off with a JoJo stand tier list. This idea hasn't been done 100 times before, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I've been going back through some of it, and really excited for Part 7 to finally come out. So here I am. This is all the stands from Part 3 to Part 6, and it's just gonna throw a quick little tier list together, kind of give my thoughts on some of these stands. It looks like this list doesn't include any of like the unfinished or unnamed stands or whatever, so that's cool. We just get like the real ones. So yeah, I got my this tier list came with an SS, and I always thought it was kind of weird to have an S and an SS, but I figured the SS could be reserved for like the crazy stands, like the really insane like reality warping stands. Um, so yeah, so I'll try not to take too long on this. This is probably gonna be a pretty long video, but I don't know. I try to keep my content mostly around games, but I like anime and other types of media and mediums, and I don't really want to be limited to one particular thing. So I think once in a while, something different will be fun. All right, so start with Star Platinum. So Part 3, the stands get introduced in Part 3. Start Platinum is the stand of our main JoJo for Part 3, Jotaro. This guy going S. So Star Platinum is like the Ultramarines from Warhammer for JoJo's. It's like it doesn't really do anything special, but it does everything really well. It's like the best fighting stand. It eventually gets the ability to stop time. It has like perfect vision and accuracy and speed. And I mean, it's a main character stand, so it's gonna be broken. The main character stands are always really, really good. Uh, Magician's Red. I'd probably put that one in an A. Magician's Red just makes fire and generates heat. And, Abdal is a great character. But he doesn't really. Trying to remember. I know he has some cool attacks. He has like the attack where he creates like all the onks made of like fire. And he can like ensnare with his fire. Like he can do some interesting things, but he can also just like melt things. He is the one that saves him and Joseph from getting hit by the train by melting the ground. Like it's a neat stand. It's a useful stand. Now Hermit Purple. I probably put Hermit Purple in a C. Hermit Purple, like the pictures that Hermit Purple makes are never really that accurate. Like they needed Star Platinum's eyesight and Muhammad Abdal's knowledge of like Egypt to determine where Dio was. And it's a very unreliable stand. And like the whip stuff is cool. Like its other function, but it's literally just vines that can draw maps. And it's useful. But I know like in Part 8, Paisley Park is like a map stand and it's like better. So so Hierophant Green. Hierophant Green is stand that has a lot of really neat uses, but I feel like some of these stands suffer from their user not like being good or just lack of screen time. And Kakyoin doesn't really do a lot. Like Hierophant Green can like kind of possess people, it can unravel. I mean, I remember it was a really important help when dealing with lovers, but I mean its ability is just hurling emerald crystals at people, which, yeah, that does a lot of damage. But I don't know. I'd probably put it in a B overall. Um, Also, Cacuine's powers have nothing to do with painting. It was just a mirage to keep mystery around Hierophant Green. So stop being stupid. Silver Chariot, I'm kind of tempted to put that one in S. Maybe an A. I might drop it down later depending on how many we get in S. But Silver Chariot is so good. I mean, it's basically just a fencer, but it it has like really strong armor, and it can take the armor off to become so fast to create like after images, and it can like shoot its sword blade out. Like, I really like Silver Chariot. It's a really good stand in my opinion. The Fool, Iggy has one of the most memorable fights for me with Pet Shop, and also his fight with Cream, or Vanilla Ice, like being able to create sculptures of people, like to trick people, and like creating like sand castle walls and stuff is cool. I feel like he really only gets like 2 good moments, but overall I'd still probably put it in A because it does have some good uses. Tower of Grey. Tower of Grey. See, there's a lot of these stands that I feel like they're ineffective because the main characters have plot armor. I feel like Tower of Grey it is a beetle that you can barely see that moves lightning fast, and it has a long razor whip tongue that can like slice through anything. Like, that's actually a really good stand. In the world of JoJo, it's not. But if you think about it in real life, if you could control a little beetle that can just whip around at the speed of sound and just cut people's heads off, like, that's pretty insane. So I'll put it in B. I mean, if we're talking in terms of JoJo, it's not impressive. But if you actually like that'd be a cool stand to have. Dark Blue Moon. Dark Blue Moon is so situational. I honestly might put that one in D. Like, yeah, it can sap your power with its barnacles and create whirlwinds, but unless you're in the water, it's useless. Like, and strength. How often you gonna get out on a big boat? Like, yeah, having Dark Blue Moon and strength together is like good, but on its own, like, it's so situational. Like, yes, strength is a gigantic cargo ship, and the user can manipulate any single part of the ship. It can control the bolts and rivets. It can shatter the windows and control the individual shards of glass. It can control the crane on the ship. It can pull people through the floor and like trap them in the steel. And the user can also phase freely through the ship's walls. Like, it's a cool ability, but if you think about it, in order to use it, you have to get people onto the ship. And I feel like the user, I mean, the user's a monkey, like, or an ape. Like, he was more interested in Anne, I think, than he was in killing the Stardust Crusaders. If he had focused more on the Crusaders, he probably would have been more successful, but I think just his primal urges towards Anne kind of like threw a wrench in everything. Ebony Devil. Ebony Devil is another one. You have to. The stand is only strong if you hold a grudge towards someone. So you literally have to like put yourself in the line of fire to like use it well. And the fight with Polnareff versus Ebony Devil was awesome. Don't get me wrong. It was an awesome fight. But, like, you have to have a doll that you can possess. I don't know what else Ebony Devil can do. I don't know if it can possess other objects or what. But also, like, the user, I think it was Devo, had to put himself in the crosshairs of Polnareff in order to even use his stand. So I kind of put it in D. The fight is memorable, but the stand is not, if that makes sense. Yellow Temperance, again, I feel like if Jotaro didn't have plot armor, like Yellow Temperance should have been able to like kill him. And also being able to like shapeshift is kind of cool. I don't know. The fact that only one person like took him down pretty much, it kind of makes it lame, but I feel like Yellow Temperance did have a lot of potential. Hanged Man. Again, plot armor saved them from Hanged Man. It can warp between reflections, including reflections on a puddle, reflections on raindrops, reflections on eyeballs, any reflection, and it has like a wrist blade. And I feel like it should have been able to just murder Polnareff and Abdul, but it didn't. I think that's mostly just a plot armor thing. But Hangman would be a really cool stand. Emperor. Emperor's just a gun. I've never really... I don't know. Emperor's literally just a gun. And you can control where the bullets go. And in the world of JoJo, it's not the most impressive. There are a few gun stands, a few bullet manipulation stands. Part 5, 6, and 9 all have like bullet or gun related stands. But yeah, I don't know. Whole Horse is just kind of a lackluster character for me. I know he's kind of a fan favorite, but I feel like he never really does anything with it. And Empress was just dumb. It's a tumor that can talk, and then it turns into a person and like kills you. I don't know. I just thought Empress was so lame. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune's cool. Wheel of Fortune's just a car with spikes on it. And, I mean, it can be used pretty much anywhere you can fit a car, but that's really all it is. I guess, like, a car is a pretty decent weapon. Justice. Justice was neat. Justice was neat. It can create illusions. It can possess people. It can, like, control you through, like, wounds and stuff. It can create, like, illusions. It's definitely a cool stand. I'd say I'd probably put that in B. A lot of these are probably going to be in B. Lovers. Alright. Lovers is kind of like... I don't want to say situational. So, like, the main thing with Lovers is that it would, like... It goes into your brain, and it makes you it like makes you feel the pain that the user feels if pain is inflicted on them. But then it can also like multiply and like mess up your brain. It can like kill you from the inside pretty much. Like, that's kind of powerful. And without Hierophant Green and was it Silver Chariot? Like without them, like they wouldn't have been able to stop it. So Joseph like probably would have died. But it's still, I don't know. It's not like a stand I really remember. I remember the user more than the stand. I remember Steely Dan a lot more than I do the Lovers. So I probably put that one in C. The Sun. The Sun should have been able to kill them. That was another plot armor moment. The Sun is the sun. It can shoot fire. It can, like, make you... I feel like it should have killed them way faster. But it kind of just sucked. Death 13. I'll put Death 13 in A. Again, I feel like it should have killed them faster. It brings you into a dream world, and a Grim Reaper, like, hunts you down in the dream world. And if it kills you, you die in real life. Like that's cool. And the mystery behind it and all that, but I will say that was probably one of the only good like Kakyoin moments that he thought to like carve the answer into his arm so he'd remember when he woke up. Judgment. I thought Judgment was kind of dumb, like because like Judgment like it is a genie. It does what you ask it to do. It's just when you ask for a person to come back, it creates a zombie. But if you don't ask for a person to come back, it doesn't really have any offensive capabilities. It's a neat concept. High Priestess, I put High Priestess probably in A. Because if they didn't have Star Platinum, they wouldn't have beat it. Because High Priestess can absorb minerals and shapeshift into objects, but then it like grew giant, and it imprisoned them underwater in its mouth, and its teeth were like strong as diamond. And the only reason they were able to get out is because Star Platinum can punch through diamond. So diamond is breakable. But yeah, High Priestess is really cool. So if you really think about it, if you don't have a broken stand like Star Platinum, they would have all died. Geb. Again, Geb didn't really do anything. All it did was slash Kakuin's eyes and blow up a helicopter. It didn't kill any of the main cast members. Like, sometimes I feel like the assassins were just trying to get in the way and not actually kill the Crusaders. Because it's literally just a hand made of water that is razor sharp, and but the user has to track you based off sound because he's blind. And yeah, it's an okay stand. Kanum, whatever. Kanum is kind of lame because it just shapeshifts your face to look like someone else, but just your face. And it doesn't, like, you have to know who the person is, because if you don't know their mannerisms, you're gonna get found out if you try to like impersonate the person. That's what happened with is Boingo, is that the older brother, or is Oingo the little brother? I don't remember. But he tried to pretend to be Jotaro, and it was just a calamity of error, or symphony of errors, calamity of errors, whatever that phrase is. And Thoth is a comic book that can see the future, and whatever it sees will happen, but it's like never right, because he sees Jotaro blow up, but it's not. It's actually his brother disguised as Jotaro blowing up. Like, it's kind of a useless power. None of his predictions like actually come true. Anubis is cool, but it's also kind of situational because you have to find the sword, and then like the sword possesses the user and can remember their battle knowledge and also impart past battle knowledge on the new user. But it's literally just a sword. Like, it's kind of a silly. It was kind of a silly stand. I kind of forget about it sometimes. Now, Bastet had potential. Bastet had potential. It almost got Abdal and Joseph hit by a train. It almost got them smushed by cars. The way they beat Mariah is so brutal and so awesome. But I will say the first scene of JoJo I ever saw on the internet was Joseph and Abdal magnetized on the fence. I saw that and I was just like, this is hilarious. I need to check out this anime. Like, that was one of the funniest things. I feel like it deserves credit just for that scene. I don't know. The ability to age someone backwards is such a useful ability, but I feel like, is it Alessi? Is that his name? He's such a creep. If he had just aged Polnareff into a fetus and crushed him, he would have won. But instead he just like decides to be all creepy, and it didn't really work for him. I'll put him B, because it is a useful ability. But somehow he managed to get beaten by children when he could have literally just aged them out of existence, or de-aged them out of existence. A lot of these are like the user is stupid. Osiris. I'm going to put Osiris low because, first of all, it's all about gambling. You have to get the person to take the bet. Otherwise, the stand is useless. And a tomb is pretty much just Osiris, but better, because a tomb is also a lie detector. So it just automatically has a better ability. But they're both kind of dumb, because, like, I don't know, like, you don't have to take the bet. Horus Horus is awesome. Horus controls ice. It can create giant, like, glaciers and shoot them at people. Great stand. The fight with Iggy was awesome. Tenor sax, I think that might be an F tier. It creates a giant illusory labyrinth, which is cool, but they find Kenny G immediately. So, like, the stand is useless. They walk in, they see the labyrinth, they're like, oh, what's this? And then they find Kenny G and beat him, and the stand goes away. It's so instant that it's like, there's almost no point to it. Cream might be an SS. I'll put him in S for now. Cream controls a void. He controls black holes. He can pull himself into his own pocket dimension. He can phase anything out of existence, just erase it from reality. And he kills two main characters with it. He literally kills two of the Crusaders by phasing them out of reality. So, like, that alone, like, not only did this guy, like, does this guy have a body count with a stand, he killed main characters, Crusaders. So he definitely gets a top spot. The world, I feel like the world has to be equal with Star Platinum, because I'm not really putting these in a particular order. I just putting them in the tier. Cream, no, not Cream. The world, Zoardo is literally Star Platinum, but it stops time longer. And it's not as precise, but it pretty much does all the same things Star Platinum does. So it kind of has to be equal there. And that's part 3. That's the part 3 stands. The first part was stands. Next is part 4. Crazy Diamond. Diamond's Unbreakable. The first stand is Crazy Diamond. Crazy Diamond is kind of like Star Platinum in the fact that it's good at punching things, but it can also repair things. It can fix things. It can heal people. It can fix structures. Like, oh man, I don't want to have this many people in S tier, but in a show with so many crazy abilities, like, now, granted, Crazy Diamond cannot bring back the dead. It can only heal people that are still alive. But it can heal any injury. And it can fix anything. So, I've always really liked Crazy Diamond for that ability. The hand, again, hand is a famous case of the user being stupid. Ogiyasu is a very dumb character, but he has such an overpowered stand. He can erase anything he touches, including space itself, allowing him to seemingly teleport. The only thing he ever actually used his power on was Red Hot Chili Pepper, but it didn't affect the user. And yeah, I'm gonna put the hand in A just because it was so ineffective in the series, but it has such incredible power. Next is Echoes, all 3 acts, technically 4. Echoes is all about sound. It can apply sound effects to things. It can, like, bring onomatopoeias to life. So, like, if it says like drip drip, will bring like water, like burn, or bring fire. It can, like, apply sounds to objects. So, like, it put, like, boing boing on a spike and made it soft. And then when it upgrades, Act 3 can, like, create vibrations that, like, weigh things down or lock things in place, like create, like, sonic waves. Echoes is a pretty powerful stand. I'll go ahead and give it an A, because it's not, like, on the super groundbreaking level, but it's pretty useful. Silver Chariot should probably also be an A. I just really like Silver Chariot. I mean, Silver Chariot. Polnareff defeated Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice killed 2 Crusaders. So I feel like the person who defeated Vanilla Ice should be in high tier. Heaven's Door. Dude, Heaven's Door is nuts. They should probably be in S tier. Heaven's Door, you can literally turn someone into a book and rewrite them. You can learn anything about them and you can rewrite things about them. Like, that is so overpowered. It's an insane ability. That is a crazy ability. If I could have any stand, that would be one of them, probably. Aqua Necklace. Yo, Angelo. Aqua Necklace is just water that goes in people and can control them and kill them from the inside. It can go in any form of water, including vapor. It's pretty powerful. Probably put it in high B. I mean, it does manage to kill one normal person. And the way that they defeat them is actually pretty ingenious, that they only would have been able to do with Crazy Diamond's ability. But yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, I'll put it in a B. Bad Company, I feel like it's also a B. I feel like Bad Company could be more powerful. Bad Company is like an army of toy soldiers, but they shoot real projectiles and like helicopters and tanks. And I feel like it could be a lot more useful than it was. But it is the Ogiyasu brother, or the what is her last name? Is it Nijimura? I don't remember. But yeah. Red Hot Chili Pepper. Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. I feel like this is an A tier stand. Controls electricity and lightning and can go into any power source and travel through electrical currents. Pretty awesome stand. The Lock. I'm gonna put that in C. Weighs you down with guilt. That's it. That's all it does. I mean, yeah, it can make you kill yourself. That's about it. Surface, again, I feel like Surface was so underutilized. It's a wooden, like, model, like, drawing figure model thing, and it can turn into a copy of anyone, and if they're in close enough range, it can control the person. But I feel like it's so underutilized. I don't know if it can even copy the abilities of the person it turns into. It just turns into them. It's basically just a way better version of Kanum. And it's not the user, so the user's not at risk of getting hurt if they like Boingo did with Kanum. Love Deluxe. This is another one that's kind of underutilized, I feel. Lets you control your hair, lets you grow it, and like attack with it. I think it's kind of a cool ability. It's kind of like Hermit Purple's vines, like if it's just the vines, but on like a grander scale. Pearl Jam, all right. Pearl Jam creates food that can heal you, restore you, improve physical flaws. It's a great support stand. I feel like it's kind of underutilized, but it is a great support stand. Octung Baby. So Octung Baby is used by a baby. So it's out of control. If we're thinking about potential, it could be an amazing stand. But the fact that it is currently used by a baby, I was also really kind of let down that she didn't like show up in later parts like grown up, but especially being raised by Joseph. But so it lets you turn invisible and also turn things around to invisible. That could be such a useful thing. But the fact that it's used by a baby that can control it kind of sucks. I would put it F if not for the potential. Rat. Rat is like an artillery gun that shoots darts that like turns things into meat. And That's kind of lame to me. I mean, it almost beat Jotaro, though, so honestly, I should probably put it in a C or B because it almost beat Jotaro. Yeah, just because it almost beat Jotaro, I'm going to put it in B. Harvest? I feel like Harvest could be really useful. Harvest is pretty cool. Just can gather anything you want. Shigekio used it to get rich. Not a bad idea. Picking up loose change and stuff. It can also swarm people and hurt them pretty bad. So I'll give it at least a B. You know, it's pretty useful. I mean, isn't Harvest the reason that they even found out who Kira was? People people say a lot of bad stuff about Shigeki, and I mean, rightfully so. He's kind of a scumbag, but he's the reason they found Kira. So, Cinderella's power is kind of lame, but it's used in such a smart way that I kind of got to give it credit because it completely threw off the search. Kira was able to use it to change his whole look and face and become like a whole new person, steal that person's identity and blend in, which completely threw the search off. If not for Kirito, was that his name? Was his name Kirito? No, Kirito's the guy from Sword Art. Unless they have the same name. But anyway, the kid of the guy that he impersonated. Not for him, no one would have known who Kira was. So I gotta give it props just for that reason. Adam Hurt Father. I don't care about this. It lets the user live inside a photograph and put things in pictures. And boy to man, rock, paper, scissors. That one's stupid. Earth, Wind, and Fire. The user doesn't do anything with it. It lets you turn into objects, but I feel like he doesn't really. I don't remember him having any good moments. I mean, I guess I can say D. I won't completely trash it. Highway Star is probably an A. Highway Star is kind of insane. It just runs fast and can just destroy you if it runs into you. Stray Cat was also a big pain. I'm gonna put that one in A too. Stray Cat creates air bubbles that explode, pressurized air, and it can also create a shield of hard air. It's kind of got it's kind of reminiscent of Kuma from One Piece, except without being able to contain things in its bubbles. Which, I mean, Soft and Wet kind of does that a little bit too in part 8. But yeah, Stray Cat definitely, and the fact that it could go inside of Killer Queen, Stray Cat definitely helped Kira out a lot. Superfly is so dumb. It's so situational. Just don't go in the tower. The tower that turns you into the tower. Just don't go in the tower. Enigma turns people into paper. Okay, cool. Turns people into paper. Can put things in paper. Cool. Whatever. Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick is so dumb. It's hey, we need an extra episode. We need to give Rohan something to do. Cheap Trick. It just sticks to your back and makes fun of you. And if someone sees it, it murders you. Now, it seems to only include Killer Queen as a single stand. It doesn't have Sheer Heart Attack or Bites the Dust, so I'm going to count this as all 3. So Killer Queen is a punching stand, but anything it touches turns into a bomb that the user can detonate at any time. Killer Queen killed Shigeki, so does Shigeki count as a main character? He kind of was for a little bit. It killed the girl who has Cinderella, and it killed a bunch of innocent women and took their hands for Kira. So powerful. Who doesn't love a good bomb? Sheer Heart Attack is a remote bomb, kind of just a stand that can think for itself, long range stand. is an impenetrable bomb. And then Bites the Dust, which is a super upgraded version of Killer Queen, can explode things back in time, trapping someone in a time loop. So, counting all of those stands together, I would probably have to put that one in S. If we're counting all three versions of Killer Queen. I mean, turning anything into a bomb, having an invincible tracking bomb, and blowing things up back in time. Pretty crazy abilities. And that's part 4. So, I've probably already made a lot of people mad, but whatever. This is what I think. And none of this is like set in stone, obviously. It doesn't really matter. But and I'm not really putting these in a particular order. I'm just putting them in the tier. Because if I was gonna put them in an order, then I might as well just make a top like list or a ranking list. But this is a tier list. So moving on to part 5. What is part 5 called again? Golden Wind, Ventuoro. Gold Experience. Gold Experience is Giorno Stan, the main JoJo. So obviously it's good. Is Requiem a separate thing on here? Yes, it is. Alright, so the normal Gold Experience is going to go in A. Gold Experience creates life. Actually, it could probably go in S. It comes in clutch. But it's also because it's JoJo's stand, and the JoJo stands are always really good. Gold Experience creates life. It turns things into living things. It can control like tree branches and vines. It can turn things into living creatures. It can mimic like body parts to like repair people, fix people. Like Jono doesn't necessarily heal. He just creates a replacement of whatever's wrong with you and puts it in you. So, and it can also, although it only does it once, it can overload people with like euphoric energy and like throw off their senses and equilibrium. And it's also just a good punching stand. Sticky Fingers is also like a really good stand. Like I probably put Sticky Finger definitely top A. Putting zippers on anything, unraveling things, creating pocket dimensions. It's a great stand. And Bucciolati is just one of the greatest characters in JoJo's. Moody Blues is so situational. Like, it's useful, but it's so situational. Just creating playbacks of things. Really useful, great for a detective, but that's about it. I mean, it can create, like, a past version of a Bacchio, and he can, like, kind of clone himself, but, like, that's about it. Sex Pistols, again, you have to be good with a pistol to use it, which, I mean, that's why it's Misa's stand. It can reload his revolver super fast. It can redirect his bullets, accelerate his bullets. It also can stop him from being shot in the head at point blank by catching the bullets. Like, Sex Pistols is a pretty good stand. Like, I'd probably put Sex Pistols somewhere in A. It doesn't matter where, anywhere. Plus, they're just fun. They're fun characters. Aerosmith, I feel like the Part 5 stands are, like, really good. I feel like the Part 5 stands are better than normal. Aerosmith is a fighter jet that can track people by CO2 emissions. Or a fighter plane, not a jet. It's like a World War II plane. But it's really effective. And I like the way Narancia uses his arms as a landing strip. Purple Haze. Purple Haze is such an underutilized stand. Creates poison that can, like, melt people in minutes, but it also affects the user and the people around him, like his allies. It's an uncontrollable stand. So I'm going to put it in B for that reason, but it is really powerful. And again, if Fugo leaves partway through the season, so he doesn't really use it much. And I hate people that hate on Fugo. Don't act tough. You would have run away and hid too. Like, don't even play. Fugo did the smart thing. Fugo's one of the few that didn't die. Everyone died. Except for Jorno and Mista and Trish. Like, it's still kind of wild that Nanansha died. But, spoiler, by the way. Spice Girl. Spice Girl turns things into rubber. She's a good punching stand. But, all she does is turn things into rubber. So, I don't know. I don't know. I like Trish. Trish is a great character. But, I don't know. It's just a punching stand that turns things... I know, it's better than all those down there. It's better than all these. Mr. President is just a super cool hideout. That's all it is. It's just a really cool hideout. So I'll put it in C. Respects. Black Sabbath. So there's always the debate, people saying like, oh, at nighttime Black Sabbath would have been unstoppable. But nighttime isn't shadow. People seem to think that, like, people forget that shadows are created by light. And I'm pretty sure Black Sabbath can only operate in shadow. I don't think it's just darkness. I think it's just shadow. I could be wrong. If it is darkness, then it's unstoppable at night. And the fact that it can, like, turn people into stand users or just outright kill them. And it can, like, rip your soul out. Like, it's a pretty, again, an underutilized stand. And it's a remote stand that doesn't affect the user. So I feel like it could have been utilized better. But I'll go ahead and throw it in B. It could probably be in A. It's just a really underutilized stand. Soft Machine's kind of dumb. It just deflates people. That's it. Craftwork can hold things in place. The user can, like, throw a bunch of rocks in the air and climbed across, like, a chasm. And he can, like, accelerate. He can, like, store potential energy in things, so when he releases it, it just, like, flies. I feel like that one was also kind of underutilized. And Little Feet could also be really good, shrinking people, but also being able to, like, shrink and grow yourself. Is without Aerosmith's ability to track carbon emissions, he probably would have won. I don't know. He didn't really. I feel like he had opportunity to kill Narancia, and he just played with him. So I don't know. I'll go ahead and put it in C. Man in the Mirror. That only works if you have a mirror. Like, it's really useful. Like, he almost beat him. I might put it in a B. Beach Boy is also probably a B. A fishing rod that can go through walls and, like, track people. Grateful Dead. Grateful Dead should also be a B. Aging people super fast, making them weak and like, fragile and stuff. Babyface. Babyface is a topic. That's definitely one of them. It is a stand. It is one of the stands of all time. Babyface is really useful despite its weirdness. So it's a laptop that creates homunculi by impregnating people. And the user can use the laptop to communicate with the homunculus and teach it and nurture it. And now the Junior, the homunculus created in the anime, is not a stand. It's its own organism. It can manipulate matter. It's very effective, very powerful. It can manipulate matter and, like, turn things into cubes and remove, like, parts of people's body by turning it into a cube. And it can also, like, recombinate people. But it can, as it grows up, it can, like, disobey the user and grow unruly depending on how it's raised. But I don't know what other things Babyface can make because that was just one homunculus, and there's so many different categories and different factors. I feel like Babyface has a lot of potential, and especially since the user doesn't have to be near the stand at all, or he doesn't have to be near the homunculus. I feel like there's potential for it to actually be a really good stand. It's just weird. White Album can freeze things, and it can like freeze the air and create like a shield. It's also armor, lets you skate on ice, it's very powerful, and Mista almost died fighting it. I don't know how he didn't. I mean, he still took like the most damage, and he's like the one character that doesn't die. Yeah, I like White Album. Ice stands are cool. Clash is dumb. Clash is a shark that can teleport through bodies of water, but like you have to be near liquid for it to work. I feel like it doesn't really do all that much. Talking Head, on the other hand, Talking Head is cool. It can make people say whatever you want. So it can mislead people by telling lies. It's a pretty good stand. What is that one? Notorious B.I.G. Dude, Notorious B.I.G. is probably like a double S. Isn't it still alive? Like, they just ditched it on an island somewhere. Like, it's still around. Like, isn't that what, like, becomes the Loch Ness Monster or something? Notorious B.I.G. Well, what sucks is the user has to die for it to work. Which, how do you figure that out? How do you figure out that your stand works if you die? I don't know how that guy figured it out, because he willingly died, so he had to have known. But Notorious B.I.G. just consumes mass. It just eats everything, and like it grows larger. Like it's crazy. It's an insane stand. I feel like people kind of forget about it. Metallica's another one. Metallica might be double S. I'll put it in S. Metallica controls metal, but it can like turn someone's blood into razor blades and scissors inside their body. It's terrifying. And it can make the user invisible by covering them in like iron dust. It's an insane stand. It's an insane power, and Risotto's got a super cool design. Is like Metallica is one of like the best stands. I would take that stand. Next, going on to Green Day. Green Day controls mold, and it can like allow the user to like separate his body parts with the mold and stuff. It's a cool stand. Chocolate gets messed up at the end, but it was pretty powerful. Definitely kept everyone on their toes. And Oasis is also really good. Being able to tunnel underground, turn the ground into mud, like navigate underground, and hear like really well through the ground. Granted, that was kind of his undoing, but it was a pretty useful stand. Rolling Stones thematically is really important, but it's literally just a ball that follows people around, tells them they're gonna die, kills them if they touch it, and then brings misfortune to everyone if they don't. And the user has no control over it, and he got like framed for murder because of it. Like it sucks. I would not want that stand. Silver Chariot Requiem switches people's souls. That's like an SS. Like that's, or maybe an S. I mean, it's uncontrollable, though, so maybe an A, because you can't control it. It's got a mind of its own. But it's very powerful. King Crimson has got to go in S. It can skip time, and it can, like, also see into the future. And it doesn't accelerate time, it skips time. So, like, the thing that would have happened does not happen. Like, it just skips time. It's crazy. Gold Experience Requiem, that's an SS. That, controlling the power of absolute zero, trapping someone in an infinite death loop of their own fear, or of their worst fears. It's just insane. It's probably the most powerful stand in the series. It's just crazy. And unlike Chariot Requiem, Giorno can control it. And it doesn't get used on him. Is Polnareff still a turtle? I forgot about that. I don't know. So now Stone Free, or Stone Ocean, last part, Stone Ocean. Some of these stands are kind of weird. The Stone Ocean stands are definitely unique. Starting with Stone Free. Stone Free's got to be like an S. Stone Free. So I've noticed recently string users are like really popular in anime now. Like there's a lot of string users when you think about it. Jolene's like the best one. She's the only one that like uses her strings creatively, really, with the exception of a couple. Like, and strings also with like the use of like string in like mythology. Like strings are always tied to like fate and souls and stuff. So, but Jolene, she can use a string for communications, like a tin can and string. She can bind things and cut things. She can create like a net to walk on. She can create like bulletproof armor, like a Kevlar textile. She can rearrange her organs and her body parts to not take damage. And she can also like use ropes to like affect the curvature of bullets. And she can turn her body into a Mobius strip infinity and like save herself from like gravity and whatnot. Like she's insane. Jolene's my favorite JoJo, and Stone Free is a great stand. Kiss, duplicating things and then jamming them back together. Like Ermis uses it well, but I don't know. I think it's a B for me. Burning down the house again, it's like just a hideout, but it's not. He does a lot more with it. Emporio stops Poochie. Emporio's the only character that technically survives, and it is because of burning down the house. I mean, it was also because of Weather Report, but it was because of burning down the house. And he can like access items because like his stand lets him summon anything that was destroyed by fire, which could be anything. So he can literally just summon anything and like create entire rooms that only he and people he selects can go in. So I'm gonna put that on a B. Actually, it's pretty cool stand. Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is just a bunch of plankton that shoot themselves really fast and hard at people like bullets. It can go in people and mess them up. It can heal people by putting itself in them. And I like Foo Fighters, the band, so no, I'm not counting that. But no, Foo Fighters, pretty versatile stand. Its power is kind of whatever it wants. Although it does have weaknesses. It needs to be hydrated constantly, and it can be burned and stuff really easily because it's plankton. Weather Report. Weather Report is like insane. Controls all facets of weather. Wind, water, lightning, ice. It can create like a cloud suit of protection. It can control I think it can control like air pressure or fronts or something. But then it also creates rainbows that make people think they're snails. Oh, it's a crazy stand. Diver Down. There's some really good stands in Part 6. Diver Down can permeate through things. It can help the user maneuver around things. It can go inside of things and like scramble them from the inside. It can permeate through people to like create armor. Goo Goo Dolls. Of all the shrinking stands, it's one of the better ones because it can actually like attack the person it's shrinking. And it can unshrink the person so they can get crushed if they're in like a tight area. But I feel like, again, it kind of came down to the user because Gwess was kind of just screwing with Jolene. I feel like if she really wanted to kill Jolene, she could have. Manhattan Transfer. Manhattan Transfer can redirect bullets, and it can sense like air currents. And the user is a blind sniper, so it really helps him. But that's really all it does. And John Gallier is kind of only in one episode, so I think I could be wrong, but it's a decent stand. It's okay. It can do some damage. Highway to Hell. Highway to Hell is so dumb. Like, it's useful, but the user has to kill themselves. It inflicts the fate of the user onto someone else. The user literally has to kill themselves for it to be affected, and he gets beaten so easily by Kiss. Marilyn Manson, another gambling stand, but it rips out your organs. I forget how they beat it, but it's a cool stand, and it helps the user cheat at the bets and stuff. And it can actually fight, unlike the other betting stands. It's definitely one of the better betting stands. Jumping Jack Flash. Jumping Jack Flash was lethal. So granted, you do have to spit on someone for it to work, which is weird. But it controls like zero gravity, and it can create like a pressure lock that like slowly depressurizes and like crushes people inside of it. And it can like use centrifuges on its arm to shoot projectiles at people at like accelerated rate. And the user also has like suction cups on their fingers so that they can maneuver around in the zero gravity. It's actually a pretty good stand if you think about it. That might be an A. Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit is invisible zombies, which is terrifying. Invisible zombies. The user also becomes one when they die. I like that stand. It's kind of crazy. Survivor. Deemed Survivor was useless because it creates too much chaos. And yeah, it literally just drives people insane. It makes them very violent. Very unpredictable. Planet Waves. Planet Waves creates meteors, pulls them from space, pulls meteors out of space, but they like disintegrate before they get to their target. Like dude's trying to be Madara. But I'll give him a B. I feel like it could be useful. The idea is cool, but Dragon's Dream lets the user see the direction of feng shui. So the user has to be a kung fu master to use it effectively, but it also allows the user to like teleport through it, so he can like maneuver around because the stand can fly around anywhere. So he can basically teleport, and he knows the perfect place to hit you, where he's least likely to have any misfortune or miss. So like the stand's kind of lame, but it's also kind of cool. So I'll put it in high D. Not that these matter, but like the stand is like actually kind of good, but that was like the worst fight in part 6, honestly. But Yo-Yo Ma deceives people and follows them around and acts all friendly, but he like kills people with pestilence. He's not very effective, but he also wears an REM sticker. That's cool. But yeah, he creates pestilence and he tricks people, but he's not really effective. Bringing Greta home is a great shrinking stand because it shrinks people that get close to the user and just shrinks them smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you do somehow get close to the user, it will attack you. So I say it's one of the better of the shrinking stands. Put Goo Goo Dolls in B. I'll put Bringing Greta home in B. Jailhouse Lock. Jailhouse Lock should go in A. It's like the perfect stand. If you don't want someone to do something, this is the perfect stand. You can only remember 3 things at once. It like basically makes you useless. That's a very good stand. Bohemian Rhapsody just caused chaos. Brings fiction to life and tries to trap real people in their fiction. It's kind of crazy. It caused some chaos. I'm probably gonna have to put it in A. Sky High is kind of dumb. Sky High controls rod flies. So rod flies aren't a real thing. They are in JoJo's. But basically, when cameras were first invented, due to the shutter speeds, it made insects look like really long, like tubular creatures with a bunch of wings. And people thought that it was like some new species that could like only be captured on camera, but it was literally just because they didn't know how shutter speeds worked. But in the world of JoJo, botflies are real, and this stand controls them and can like sick them on people and like hurt them and poison them, I think, tear them up and stuff. But I mean, I guess it's useful, but it's kind of dumb. So I'll put it with D. Underworld was cool. It creates like an underground chasm, and it like recreates tragedies that happened in the earth or that touched the earth. And it basically, like, in the anime, he traps Jolene in a plane crash, like just going through, and she has to like figure out how to survive the plane crash. And like, it's a really neat idea. So I'll put it in B because it's actually kind of cool. Wait, Survivor's in B? I'm gonna put Survivor in. Survivor's not better than Hermit Purple. I'll put Survivor in D. Alright, now we're on to Poochie stands. All of Poochie stands. White Snake has a bunch of abilities, but it kind of forgets it has them. Poochie, White Snake can make like a poison, acid. It can put people in dreams that Poochie can manipulate. But its main ability is taking out people's stands and memories and like swapping stands. It can like create discs, and if it takes your memory and your stand disc, you just go into a coma. But he creates like a collection of stand discs, and he can put them in people at will, so he can just give people stand powers. And that's how he like fights Foo Fighters, by like giving her like a boiling water stand that like melts her. White Snake's a pretty good one. Sea Moon is the upgrade when Poochie merges with the green baby. Sea Moon controls the flow of gravity and like almost kills Jolene. And then Maiden Heaven, the upgraded version. Maiden Heaven is, well, technically it is the best stand. I mean, Weather Report beat Poochie, but the stand, not the person. But Maiden Heaven, not only does it make the user lightning fast, it accelerates time so fast that days happen in seconds. And it doesn't really affect people, but it affects objects and things around them. And eventually it speeds up the universe so much that it creates a singularity and basically recreates the Big Bang. It resets the entire universe. It accelerates the universe to the end and restarts it through like a Big Bang singularity. Oh, Poochie technically wins. Dio technically wins. But Emporio does use the White Snake stand discs against Poochie, giving himself Weather Report, and then using it to kill Poochie and basically ensure safety in the new universe. So Poochie could not finalize his plans all the way, and fate allowed everything to work out good in the end, even though technically everyone dies except for Emporio. And he has to live the rest of his life knowing that all of his friends are just alternate copies of his friends that died. So yeah, that's my tier list. I'm sure people will have a problem with it, but yeah, that is my thoughts on the JoJo stands. Again, because of situations and potential and users and plot armor, these can get rearranged in a bunch of different ways. But I think that's a pretty decent list. Yeah. So, yeah. I just wanted to do something different, talk about JoJo's. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.